You know the saying, there are plenty of fish in the sea? This expression is usually used to describe romantic relationships, but I think it can also be applied to credit cards. I mean, there are so many options out there, which can make it really hard to choose which credit card is best for you. So if you're in the market for a new credit card, in this video, I'm going to help you narrow the field of choices by telling you about the 3 credit cards I've dated: the Capital One Venture Card, the Amex Blue Cash Preferred, and the Chase Freedom Card. I'll break down how I got into a relationship with each, the pros and cons I experienced with each card during the relationship, and I'm ultimately going to rank them by which one I would fuck, marry, and kill. So the first one I'm going to tell you about is the Capital One Venture Card. And you know that electrifying feeling you get when you walk into a room and see a super hot person across it? How you try to focus on everything else, but you can't seem to stop looking over in their direction every 30 seconds, even though they've caught you staring numerous times? That's exactly what I felt when I found the Capital One Venture Card. Only in this case, it wasn't the good looks that got me. It was the sign-up bonus. I mean, 60,000 points right off the bat, I was smitten. I kept toying with the idea of whether or not I should go up to the Venture Card and get to know it a little bit better. I mean, I was nervous about getting into a relationship with another credit card, and I didn't know if he would like my credit score. Sure, it was above average, but so are a lot of people's. But I just couldn't stop staring. So finally, I got up the courage and I went over to him. That's when I found out how easygoing he was. With him, I would get 2 points for every dollar I spent, no matter what I bought. There were no extra spending categories I had to remember or extra savings to activate. My ex, more on him later, used to make me activate my cash back in special spending categories if I wanted to save more, and would only give me 1 point on every dollar I spent outside of those special categories. So finding out that I could get more points with less effort gave me butterflies. The only downside was the $95 annual fee that the Capital One card had. I mean, I was not excited at all about having to start paying for some aspects of our relationship. But being the easygoing and understanding guy that the Capital One card is, he decided to waive my annual fee for the first year, so after that, I decided to sign up. It's been over 5 years since we started our relationship, and I'm happy to report that we are still going strong. I now gladly pay the $95 annual fee because the perks I get from being in a relationship with this card just far outweigh the cost. Pre-COVID, this card and I traveled the world together. And the best thing about having him as my travel companion was that he never charged me foreign transaction fees. This saved me a lot of money. He also fully reimbursed me for getting my global entry pass, so now when we travel, I get special TSA and customs treatment, which is amazing. I can definitely say that without a doubt, the Capital One Venture Card is the best card to ever happen to me. I mean, it's like my Prince Charming. And these are the best aspects about it. It's super easy to use because you don't have to monitor any extra savings you can get in special spending categories. You just get 2 points for every dollar that you spend. There are no foreign transaction fees, and you can get periodic reimbursements for things like your global entry pass, and it only has a low $95 annual fee. So the verdict is I married this card. So while the Capital One Venture Card and I have had a strong relationship from the start, I did get a wandering eye a couple of years ago. And that's when I met the Amex Blue Cash Preferred card. He was nothing like my Capital One card. He had lots of spending categories with different earnings for each of them and didn't offer me very much as a sign-on bonus. So he was complicated and kind of stingy. But as soon as I saw that he offered me 6% cash back at supermarkets, I lusted after him. I spent a lot of time calculating whether or not I should have an affair with the Amex Blue Cash Preferred card. I mean, he offered more than 2 points in 4 spending categories: supermarkets, subscription fees, transportation, and gas, but he would definitely complicate my life. I couldn't stop fantasizing about him though. I mean, these are all relatively high spending categories for me, so even though it complicated things, I decided to have the affair. I now use my Amex Blue Cash Preferred card in all of these 4 spending categories and use my Capital One Venture card for all of my other purchases. And I mean, my savings only amounts to a few $100 more a year after you factor in the $95 annual fee, but I still think it's worth it. Like is often the case with affairs, the complication that it causes pales in comparison to the excitement you feel from having it. So while it is more complicated for me to have to remember to use my Amex in these 4 spending categories, it's of little consequence compared to the exhilaration I feel by saving some extra money. So while my Amex Blue Cash Preferred card is definitely not as amazing as my Capital One Venture card, I'm still not planning on ending our relationship anytime soon. So my verdict is I would fuck it. So the Chase Freedom credit card is the one that took my credit card virginity. And we never really had that great of a relationship. Like, I didn't know what I was doing, and he definitely didn't have the best intentions. But nonetheless, he was still a very significant part of my life. The first thing I noticed about him was his $0 annual fee. I mean, talk about sexy. But it didn't take me long to start getting annoyed with his other qualities. He only offered me 1 point for every dollar I spent and would make me chase after his savings by requiring that I activate the 5% cash back every quarter. Despite all of these negatives, I still let him sneak into my parents' basement and take my V card. And while it definitely wasn't the romantic encounter I envisioned, I still kept the relationship going for several more years until I met the Capital One Venture card. I don't ever use my Freedom card anymore, but I do still keep the account open. And that's because your length of credit history is a factor in how high your credit score is, and the longer your history is, the better. So since he was my first, the Freedom card gets to remain open. Even though we've gone our separate ways, I totally understand why this is one of the most popular cards on the market and think it's a great entry-level one. I mean, he gave me a few $100s as a sign-up bonus, a limited balance so I couldn't get myself into too much trouble, and helped me learn a lot about how important it is to build a healthy relationship with credit. So while the Chase Freedom card and I are not together anymore, I wish him all the best. So my verdict, kill. While I 100% recommend the Capital One Venture card for pretty much everyone because of its ease of use, low annual fee, and great rewards program, you might not be ready to swipe right on that card just yet. So if you want to compare cards, NerdWallet is an absolutely great resource. It's like the Tinder for credit cards. You can take quizzes to help NerdWallet figure out what you're looking for, and then they'll come back with a list of potential matches. If you decide to swipe right and start dating one of them, it's really important that you take the necessary steps to prevent your relationship from becoming toxic. It's great if your card trusts you enough to give you a high balance, but only if you pay that card off in full every month. If you don't, your credit card company is going to charge you an astronomical rate of interest. All credit card companies turn into fuckboys the minute you don't pay your balance off in full every month, and fuckboys should be avoided at all costs. As long as you're paying your credit card off in full every month and still getting great rewards, you'll have a healthy relationship with whatever card you choose. And while it's definitely true, there are plenty of fish in the sea, by using my recommendations and sites like NerdWallet to help narrow your focus, you can find the card that is great for you and fits your lifestyle best. I mean, who knows? You might even decide you like it so much you want to marry it. Thank you so much for tuning in this week, you guys. I really hope this video helped you narrow down your credit card search. So if this video helped you maybe decide what credit card you wanted or what options you have to choose from, please make sure to give it a thumbs up because I want to be a rich bitch just as much as you, and it helps me with the algorithm. I release a new video every Saturday that talks about personal finance, investing, and how to build your wealth. So if that is something you are interested in, please make sure to subscribe to my channel, and I will see you next week. Bye!